Alright, so we are nearly there, fight night. And this is fight night obviously for Joshua Ngannou. And weigh-in is tomorrow, because obviously it's a Friday night fight. And I don't think I'll do midweek report this week, because there's not really much to report. It's mainly been all around this card. I think I'll just give my final thoughts after the weigh-in and maybe do a quick preview of the card. But it's been... Do you know what, right? It's been interesting seeing, because obviously Team Fury are in attendance for this fight. Tyson Fury is there with his brother Tommy. John Fury is there as well. I think is it Tyson's brother or cousin, Roman Fury. I can't remember which one he is he brother or cousin? But he's fighting on the undercard as well. And it's been interesting because, right, John Fury, this is one thing I've said about him for the longest time. And I think seeing how he's been at this show is just, well, proof of that, really. I've always said about John Fury is that his bark is worse than his bite. Many people in the world are like that, where their whole objective is to go into a room and be that big, loud, barking voice, you know? So they walk into the room and rah, 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 blah, 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 all that, in the hope that they can, just by their loudness, just intimidate people to think like, oh, he's someone I don't really want to, might stay away from him. You see John Fury at a Misfit show that maybe Tommy is on, and instantly, all you're seeing across YouTube, across Twitter, is John Fury, John Fury, John Fury. He's shouting at this guy. He's mooning the camera. He's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. You take that and you put him on a major show like this, proper boxing show. I know some would say the main event is a gimmick fight, but they're all fighters in and out of the ring. And we have... No, we don't have anything. We don't have anything. John Fury, one of the first interviews I ever seen with John Fury, like I really listened to, was an interview he gave. It was him and Billy Joe Saunders. They gave it with, I think it was Kugan Cassius or James. It was one or the other. It was back in 2016. It was just after Anthony Joshua beat Charles Martin. And in that interview, John Fury was having a go with Charles Martin. I remember him clearly saying that they basically paid him to lie down. He was looking for the floor. He was looking for the canvas before the bell went. And that he could have done better. And he actually went to the camera and he's like, "Oi, Eddie, offer me some of that money. I could do with some of that, pal. And I will last 3 rounds and don't pay me." These are the things he was saying with regards to Joshua, even back as far as 2016. All right? He meets Anthony Joshua. I think it was at Sunday or Monday. Shaking hands, happy out, not a word said. Here is, I'm not going to show you it, but Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. Fury's in the audience at the press conference. Ngannou was there. And he is saying to Tyson Fury that he would wipe the floor with his something, basically saying that in a real fight, it's over if Fury and Ngannou fought. And obviously it would be. Ngannou is, some would say he's a jack of all trades, master of none in terms of combat, because obviously he knows the ground game and stuff like that. Primarily a striker. And it is revealed that the winner of Usyk and Ngannou will face the winner of the 2 fights, because obviously there's a rematch clause with Fury and Usyk. And I just found it funny that you've Tyson going back and forth with Ngannou there, and you've John Fury just... This is normally a guy who is always animated, even if it's someone like, you know, Tommy and Jake having a go. He's straight in them, he's squaring up with a TV, for God's sakes. But in an environment like this, where there's guys who, they are going to fight back, alright, it is radio silence. And that's what I've said about John Fury for the longest. This is a guy who said that he's the greatest man in the world over 50 and that he'll make an open challenge to anybody. When people like Mickey Teo actually said, you know, I'll have some of that, he went quiet, or he started making unreasonable demands. Yeah, we'll do it, but we'll do it where Billy Joe Saunders lives. And you're like, what? And that makes no sense. He's hardly going to... That's like someone, you know, saying, okay, I live here with all my friends, right? Instead of going to neutral grounds, you come here alone, but all my friends can stay. You'd be like, what the hell doing that? Obviously, it's not going to be a fair fight that way. You know, but that was what John Fury was doing. And as I said, look and contrast his approach and his behaviour when he's at these Misfit shows. I mean, when he's at these Misfit shows, he has people like Wings of Redemption and Boogie 2988 there who, you know, they have to do 1 minute rounds because they're afraid God knows what might happen if they go any longer. You know, they're going at the ring going 2, 4, 6, 8. This is why we can't masturbate. So honestly, you know, he's in his element in those shows because he can intimidate those guys. Those guys are going to look at someone like that and be, oh, we're not going to go near him. The only time he's ever squared up to a fighter was Carl Frampton. And I like Carl Frampton, great fighter, absolutely brilliant fighter, 2 division world champion. But Carl Frampton in the nice way, he's 150 pounds and he's 5'3". He was fine squaring up to him. But when it's other people, when it's, the Deontay Wilder, and even Sugar Hill Stewart, when Sugar Hill Stewart said he was over around about this time last year, to train Lawrence Okolie for the David Lloyd fight, and that he already had his flights booked back to the States, when Tyson Fury was trying to say, oh, he's over here to train me for a date with Usyk in April, and he basically, let the cat out of the bag and said, no, I'm here to train Lawrence Okolie, I'm going back to the States. John Fury was like, well, he better hope he doesn't see me. He won't be doing. He's still a member of Team Fury. No issues. So did that meeting never happen? Of course it didn't. It's John Fury. John Fury made a call out to Carl Froch, a man who said he'll fight any man in the world. And as soon as he made the call out to Carl Froch, he's like, yeah, we can do it, but we have to agree terms. It has to be financially. So it's like anytime, any place, anywhere. Financially, though, it has to make sense. And Carl Froch came out and said, okay, fine, we'll do it. We'll give it to charity. I haven't heard anything since then. John Fury is that. And his act has got very old. When he came around first, it was interesting to watch in kind of a comical way. Because you just see this guy and you're like, it's funny. You're kind of looking at him and you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because obviously he wasn't there for a large part of Tyson's career. And he kind of did, to an extent, take a little bit of a backward step behind Peter Fury when Peter was the head trainer, because it was mainly kind of, we want to know what Peter has to say because he's looking after Tyson. And I still think Peter is the best for Tyson. Sugar Hill has been very good, but Peter Fury, he got it. And he's what Tyson needed, really. And, when Peter was there, John try and get in, but Tyson even seemed to be like, no, Peter is the guy. As soon as he leaves, that's when John's doing all the interviews, and we're really seeing John's character come out then. And at the start, it's kind of like, this is funny. You see it in kind of a jovial kind of way, and you're like, this is a bit funny. It is a little bit funny. And then it just becomes old. And then you're just like, come on now, you're calling out every single person, We never found out why Tony Bellew was being cheeky. Why is he being cheeky? We never found that out. And, all this, this guy better watch and this, that, and the other. And then it comes time and, Tyson Fury is sitting there, going back and forth with Ngannou, and John's just... If that was Tommy with KSI at a Misfit show, you bet your ass he'd be jumping up, oh, they're my son, yous are all my son, blah, 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 blah. Bark louder. Bark is worse than his bite, it appears. That's my 2 cents on this. Let me know yours in the comments below. Have you? Because this is just something I've just looked at over the last few days and I've been like, all this bravado, this stick he comes out with about, this, that, and the other, and, I'm a fighting man. For a man, I think it was a Carl Froch who said it, for a fighting man, a man who, claims to not fear anyone, he doesn't really have the thickest skin, doesn't he now? Considering, you can't dare critique Tyson. Otherwise, you're this, that, and the other. You're throwing your toys out of the pram, I'm a fighting man. Well, critique Tyson. Don't critique him. That's what it's like almost with John Fury at this point. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Just a quick one there. I just said I'd give my 2 cents on it. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Peace. Boxing today, it seems like there's news breaking every single day. There's fights being announced almost every day. Big fights at that. Boxing's in a good place. And sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I find it a little bit difficult at times just to stay on top of everything, between checking Twitter, checking boxing scene, going on BoxRec to see if there's anything announced. There's a lot to look for. There's a lot of platforms you need to go on. And if you look there on screen, you'll see today's sponsors, Boxing Showtimes. They've made an app that does it all for you. Look at that on screen. It shows you where you can get tickets. It gives you all the latest news. It gives you the tail of the tape. It gives you all the card details. It's going to give you details about Fury Usyk. It's going to give you details about Joshua Ngannou. It's also going to have a lot more little things thrown in there as well. The link is in the comment section. It's going to be pinned on this video and more besides soon enough. And not only that, in the comment section, there's also going to be a link, a G-Man promo, which means you can access a little bit more without ads. Now that, to quote Eddie Hearn, is a game changer. Now let's crack on with the video.